morning, students. How are you all? I hope you are keeping fine and doing well by the grace of God. Yes, students. Now, let's summarize the previous lesson, that is the selfish Jane. 7th lesson, the selfish Jane by Oscar Wilde. Already I have explained to you about these meanings and about the poet who has written this story. And I have explained to you about the lesson of the lesson. It's clear. Dear students, I request you all to take the textbook page number 51. Page 51, third paragraph. I cannot understand why spring has not yet come, said the selfish jade, as he sat at the window and looked out at his cold winter garden. I hope there will be a change in the weather, he said, but spring never came, nor did summer. During autumn, there were golden fruits in every garden, but in the Jane's garden, it was still winter. Since it was always winter there, the cold north wind, snow, hail and frost danced through the trees. So dear students, if we go to this lesson, in this lesson, after the school, the children used to go and play in Jane's garden because the Jane was not there. He went to meet his friend. So children were playing very freely and enjoying in his lovely garden. In that garden, different kinds of flowers, birds, trees. So children are enjoying because no one is there to stop them. So one day, the Jane came back from his friend. When he saw that the children are playing in his garden, he got very angry. This is my garden. And he was telling, but children, when they saw the huge man and the tallest man, they all got frightened and ran away from there. Then he said, this is my garden. No one should enter in this garden. This is my garden, is my own. Like that he said, and put a note. And he constructed a wall around his garden and put a notice, that is, trespassers will be persecuted. Then he said, whoever enter in his garden, there will be punishment. So like that way, he put, the children are feeling very bad. There is no place to play the children. So they are feeling very bad. Then, so since the children are not coming to play in Jane's garden, the birds also stopped. Then flowers also stopped blooming. So there is the garden was filled with the snow. It is like a winter. Everywhere spring has come, but in his garden there is no spring, only winter. So in this now, if we see, one day the giant was sitting near the window and looking at the garden. He could see only in the winter all the trees were covered with the snow. Is it clear? Then he was feeling very bad. Why? Every spring has come. In my garden, why winter only it is continuing? What happened? Like that way, he was sitting near the window and thinking the giant. Then, and he could see only cold winter in his garden. I hope, then he is saying there will be a change in weather. Like that way he was thinking. Then during the autumn there will be spring, there will be flowers and different kinds of fruits. But he could see nothing. But all the trees and the plants, everything were covered by the snow. But in the Jane's garden, but it's still winter in his Jane's garden. Since it was always winter there, the cold north wind. So north wind means cold wind blowing from the north. Cold wind blowing from the north. So hail. So north wind was blowing from the north side. So hail. You could see the hail hailstone shower, always falling heavy. Because it is in winter in his garden, always heavy hailstone shower means rain, hailstone shower. It was kind of rain. Then like that way it was there. Then because the hailstone was falling, the wind was blowing from the north side, then started to through the trees. So full the trees were covered by with the snow. One morning, the giant was lying awake in bed when he heard some lovely music. It sounded so sweet that he thought it may be the king's musician passing by. So the king was feeling very sad. The king was feeling very sad because why in my garden only winter? Why spring yet? Why not it come? Like that way he was feeling. He could see only the cold breeze coming from north side and heavy hailstones for shower falling on his garden like a snow full covering the garden. He was feeling bad. So one morning when he was on the bed, he could hear a lovely sound, a lovely music, and he was so much inspired and liked so much that music. Then he was thinking, what kind of this music? It is like a musicians playing, like that way this music was. So the man was feeling something by hearing the sound of musician, a lovely music. However, it was only a little linnet singing outside his window, but it was no long since he had heard a bird sing in his garden that it seemed to him to be the most beautiful music in the world. Then the hair stopped dancing, the north wind stopped roaring, and a sweet perfume came to him through the open window. I believe spring has come at last, said the giant, and he jumped out of bed and looked out. So when he heard a lovely music, that is the bird. Linnet means a bird known to sing very sweetly. Linnet means a bird known to sing sweetly. So he could hear a bird was singing very beautifully. So he through the window he looked at the outside. But it was so long, could hear a bird was singing very sweetly. Then at last he said, the bird, by hearing the sound of the bird music, felt very happy. So the hailstone shower stopped and stopped dancing. The north wind's cold wind stopped and the sweet perfume started to come to him through his window. Then he believed that, I believe spring has come at last. Thank God, I could see in my garden spring, said Giant, and jumped out of his bed and felt very happy. In my garden, I could see spring. Like that way, the giant felt very happy. What did he see? He saw the most wonderful sight. Through a little hole in the wall, the children had crept in and they were sitting on the branches of the trees. In every tree that we could see, there was a little child. And the trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. The birds were flying about the twittering with delight, and the flowers were peeping through the green grass and laughing. Twittering means chirping sounds made by birds. Birds were making different sounds. So here we could see. Then the giant felt very happy because the spring has come in his garden. So different kinds of birds are coming. We could see the flowers are blooming, everything. So what had happened, we could see when he peeped through the hole of the wall, children were standing outside and the children were climbed some of the trees and looking at his garden. So by seeing that one, the man is feeling like bad. Then the children back again, and when immediately they enter into his garden. So the man changed himself, because my selfishness, I am becoming like this. I am not happy like that way when he was alone. And the giant heart melted as he looked out. How selfish I have been. Now I know why spring would not come here. I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever, said the giant. He was really very sorry for what he had done. He opened the front door softly and went out into the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and it was winter in the garden again. So then his heart felt very sad. Why I did like that? Why I behaved like selfish way? So when the children are in my garden, I could see my garden was filled with flowers, fruits, birds. There will be spring. Why did I behave like that? His heart melted, and he felt very sorry himself. So I will knock down the wall. Means he want to open the door and welcome the children in his garden. So my garden should be for the children like a playground. Like that way he felt, and he changed his mind and heart. So he wanted to invite the children to his garden. But when he opened the gate and came out, by seeing this fierce man, tallest man, the children got frightened and ran away again from there. It is your garden now, little children, said the giant, and he knocked down the wall with his bare hands. When they saw the giant was no longer wicked, the children came running back, and with them came spring. From then on, every afternoon after school was over, the children came and played with the giant in his beautiful garden. So the giant was changed his mind and heart. Then he understood his mistake. Then he was feeling sad, sorry. Why did I behave like that? So then when he came to invite the children, because the children got frightened and ran away from there. But then, when they were running away from them, he was calling, "It is your garden now, little children. Children, come to me. It is your garden. Come and play in my garden. I feel so sorry. I understood my mistake. Come and play in my garden. That is yours." Then, when they saw the giant was no longer, then they understood that this man was changed his mind and heart. He was feeling sorry. The children felt very happy and then ran to the garden, lovely garden. When the children entered into his garden, again spring has come. So there will be different kinds of flowers. Birds are coming and singing. The trees, the fruits, everything was starting to bloom. It became very beautiful. Giant's garden. It is like a lovely garden. So after the school, all the children used to come and play in his garden. So the giant also used to play with the children. He was spending his life like that in his lovely garden. So dear students, you should not be selfish. You should share what you have to others, especially the poor people. You should understand the situation. You should not be like this man. When he was selfish, he was unhappy, very sad. He felt alone. Is it clear? So, when you are happy, if you want to be happy, you have to help others. You have to help others. When we help others, we feel very happy. In small things, helping. Not big helping, but small things, when you do it for others, you feel very happy. See, the giant was very selfish. He was want to be always alone. He always feels, this is mine, it is belong to me. So he was not able to give his garden to the others to come and play. He was feeling sad, unhappy. But when he realized his mistake, then he felt very sorry. When after coming with children, he could see the spring and the beauty of his lovely garden. Then he felt very happy. He started to play with the children. So you should be like that, dear students. Be good, help others, be happy always. Meanings: north wind, cold wind blowing from the north. Hail, hailstone shower, heavy hailstone shower. It is one kind of rain. Linnet means a bird known to sing sweetly. Twittering, chirping sounds made by birds. Chirping sounds made by birds. These are the two meanings today we have learned.